Ready. Check Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. That's right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though. I said Monday, Wednesday, Friday, yeah, you know it's a go. Okay, I see they going off, but we gon' rewrite it though.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Rewriters Room. We are the men with the pen. I am 1/3 of our illustrious trio, Armand Sather, the John Cena of journalism, the Brock Lesnar of broadcasting, the Roman Reigns of rhetoric, and the Paul Heyman of podcasting. You know, as always, I'm not here alone. My two melanated, hydrated, elevated brothers in potting are here. CC, how you feeling, my brother?
Hey, what's good? It's CC, the best producer and rapper in the whole wide world. God with body, because I consume healthy products and do towel curls, benevolent servant to the earth and philanthropist. And every phrase that I say is a gem, like amethyst. You could put any nigga next to me. Women gonna look at him like, who the fuck, man, is this? I may talk a lot, but I only got one thing to say. Love yourself, keep going. You are the world, so give all you can. Take care of your body, your people, and your land. Where the fuck my nigga Chan?
In the words of our fallen brother Kanye West, I make Black History every day. I don't need a month. Shout out to Wesley becoming the longest reigning North American champion. I've said it many times. I was not a believer at first, bro, but I got to give you credit where credit is due. I outlasted Gargano, I outlasted Cole, I outlasted Ricochet, I outlasted all my sons, all my faves. You outlasted them all with that NA title, bro. I got to give you respect, bro. That's all I gotta say for the mid card mafia, bro. We like to hand out our flowers during. You know, we don't like to wait like some other divisions do to hand out their flowers. So we like to say, hey man, shout out to you.
What divisions were you firing straight bullets at right there?
I'm just saying, like, there's often if you counted how often people are called main eventers versus the number of main events said person was in, it's not always the math doesn't always math. When you like all of a sudden everybody retires, and it's like, oh, he's a main event guy. It's like, was he when he was here? Was he a main event guy, or is he main event guy because he's been gone for a while? Mm. You see that sometimes.
I mean, and on another note or whatever, especially when it comes to wrestling, consistency is something that absolutely matters. A lot of niggas like to, people draw back to different eras, ruthless aggression, attitude era, different shit or whatever. But it's like you trying to like what you really remembering is like 3 months or whatever. You know what I mean? You remember in like a short period of time. And Shannon, what you said, to speak what you said earlier, same thing. I wasn't a believer. I looked at bro. I was like, the first time I saw bro, I was like, bro, your swag meter is kind of negative right now. I'm gonna need you to step it up. And then looking at him now, you could see it in his face when he come out. He's like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be here. And to be honest with you, his swag meter still, I don't even think it's on 50%. So that just lets you know how crazy he could actually go. I believe in this kid. I want to see him do well. Black actors, man, black actors. That's how I feel.
Shannon, you raised a really good point. I've always thought about how, and sometimes not even after someone's career, but during, like, while they're an active wrestler, like a lot of these wrestlers kind of, and I guess it's just how WWE like presentation goes, where they obviously have to like put people over, but like a lot of wrestlers be getting called like, yo, he's one of the best in-ring talents ever. like you hear it about Finn Balor, you hear it about Ali, but then you hear it about Cesaro. Like you hear about a lot of different niggas. It's like, all right, not everyone can be one of the best in ring. And granted, the talent level is high. It's a lot of talented niggas. I'm like, all right, like we got to come up with some different compliments.
It's like, how many premier guys in the industry can there be at one given time? Like it just feels like every match, oh, he's one of the premier guys. It'll be like Otis, and it's like, I hear you, but like, let's be for real. Like some dudes are just solid, bro. Like just solid wrestlers who they have their fan base is cool. But yeah, it's like you said, that's how the money's made. You got to bubble people up and bring them back down. So
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of money and bubbling, we want to plug our Patreon, patreon.com/the A Show RNC, where you can get early access to episodes of the A Show, the War Report, Rewriters Room. Meals just dropped an episode of Retro Diaries. Quan joined him. They're talking about 1999. So you want to jump in because the episode is fine and divine and right on time. Of course, you have opportunity to drop hot takes, to comment on things. The A Show just did office hours where they took submissions. So the next time they do that, you want to be able to submit things to the A Show office hours submission thingamajig. So make sure that you are part of the Patreon. It's not expensive. I mean, if you want to spend more, you get more. You know what I'm saying? It's life. You get out of it what you put into it. So if there's any network to put money into, these black creators who are trying to put on for y'all. But we're gonna jump into our pre-write now. So for those who are not Patreon subscribers, you missed out on a very fun championship theme before we write trivia segment, and that'll make a little more sense when we get into our rewrite. But pre-write time, let's get to it. So I'll start actually this week. There's a Drake line from 0 to 100 where he says, "I'll do it for you niggas, and I'll do it for myself." And it perfectly describes what's going on with the bloodline right now. We saw Roman Reigns return to SmackDown. What was it, last week? Was it last week or was it this week? Yeah, last week.
By the time this is out, it'll be last week.
Last week, yes. And he declared that him and Solo Sikoa will take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. And he, had a legendary promo slandering the Usos, getting upset that they dedicated a tag team title match to him when he's not even a tag team competitor. We literally have legendary tag teams in our family. You dedicated a match to me and then you lost. And, it was rumored that, Roman and Solo were going to take on Sami and KO. And then you get there and you get the announcement. And, it's like, and I thought it was genius that they had Roman dedicate the match to Alpha and Sika, because if he happens to lose, there's a situation where maybe the like older people in the family are like, well, you're dedicating matches to us and you lost. Like, do you really have control over the blood? Like, there's so many different directions they can go with this. But I think the scariest thing for me is I had to have the thought, what if this nigga Roman wins these tag team titles?
You should have it. Have that thought. Sit with it for a while. Because it might.
What if, and this is like, obviously storyline's sake, it's like, no, the Usos are going to get involved, think that they're helping, and they're going to fuck it up. I don't know if it's Roman who's going to take the pin or Solo. Probably going to be Solo who ends up taking the pin. But it's just like, there have been, and we've talked about this so many times, there have been so many times where we're like, no, it will make sense. Where Roman's going to lose this. This is how it's going to happen. It's done. He's going to get pinned. And then this nigga comes out on top. He figures it out. The whole, Joe, the whole Samoan family has a lot more relatives. So someone could pop out and help them. But like, somehow, some way, Roman could find a way to win this match, and it's terrifying for me. But it's also like either way, it works. It's kind of like I described before. Like the Usos get involved, they lose, and then you see Roman Solo versus Usos. But Roman and Solo could win, then it'd be like, yo, why do we need y'all in the family when we could win these tag team titles by ourselves? And the visual of Roman with 4 titles is like, I'm really interested in how they're gonna figure that out, because I don't see him doing the Sami Zayn where he wears 2 and then holds 2. Like they're gonna have to either unify the Universal and the WWE into one, or they're gonna have to unify the tag team titles into one, which I don't think they're gonna do. So I'm just interested in that visual, but with that visual comes Roman Reigns holding tag team titles. Like and I'm really annoyed that I have to have this fear that this nigga could really do it, but Roman Reigns has proven like these are the types of things that you have to worry about. So
I think, and this is the like purely animal visual person in me. If the titles weren't both red and blue, I think they might do it, because it would really like, imagine if he had like the WWE title, the World Heavyweight Championship, then like the World Tag Team Championship, the WWE Tag Team Championship. So all gold belts, but they all look just different. That'd be so hard. Like that'd be such a cool picture. But the picture of like the red and blue tag belts with the blue universal belt, I don't think that actually looks as cool as like
too much blue.
Like, too much color. It looks too Power Rangey. Yeah, it's like, it's just not as cool. And so yeah, I don't think they'll do it just for that, because it's like, it actually, I don't think would look as cool as you'd want it to, unless the belts were like actually like black and gold like they used to be. Because it's like at certain points, like, so we're gonna have, a red, like 2 blue belts and 2 red belts. Like that's that what we're going to? It's just too much to me.
Man. Yeah.
I mean, bro, at this point, anything can happen, man. I'm sorry. I've lost like I've lost all doubt when it comes to this nigga, bro. But at the same time, I think it's one of the like so if you look at the story, it's funny because like right now, Roman's in a position where it's just like, I'm doing all this winning, y'all losing. It's like he clowning the Usos or whatever. So if you looking at like how to tell this story, it's like he's clowning the Usos for like losing. So like for me, I'm just like, okay, well now they have to lose because now and then Sammy, like I think that Sammy also said something that was really, really key in telling the story too, which was he was saying that y'all not better than the Usos. So if Roman ends up losing this, Roman and Solo end up losing this, especially after they had that little shoulder bump and
Yep.
Roman made that face or whatever. Then you have this thing where it's just like, Jay, Jimmy, especially Jimmy, or whatever, and be like, bro, who is you talking to? Because you lost too. Like, don't talk to me. So like, and I think that's like the way to go with it. But I mean, I don't know, like there's just like when you playing 2K23, you just make crazy shit happen. It's just like there's a part of me where it's just like, bro, what if this nigga literally has 4 titles?
I'll tell you this though. I'll put it to you this way. If this match was a handicap match with Roman versus Kevin and Sammy, he will be getting them titles. The only reason I think he will lose the match is because Solo is in the match. Like, and Solo can eat a pin, and Roman can be like, "Now you're failing me too." Like, but if it was no way of getting around Roman eating that pin, there's no way they're letting like Sami Zayn pin Roman. Like, I don't see happening. And so like I think it's definitely gonna be Solo eating some pin and like that be causing more friction, and then you go from there.
I think that you mentioned Jimmy. I think it's been underappreciated how great he's been these last few weeks. Like Jay was the one who they were regularly saying best supporting actor, but the shit with Jimmy, where like Jimmy doesn't want to apologize, and then like Roman mushes him, and then like Jimmy this past week where he's like, yo, like we had a plan, all this shit, and like because you think back to when Jimmy returned, he wasn't trying to get down with the bloodline. Like he really did it for Jay. And then over time, he kind of became a bit more servile. But then when the shit with Sammy was happening, like Roman was at a point where he's like, yo, like, I'm going to blame Jimmy. Like you've seen their relationship fracture around the time where Jay seemed like he wasn't fully, in everything. So it's just like there's so many like different threads and twists and turns within this, and so I'm really interested in seeing, because everyone's saying like Jay has to turn, Jay has to beat Roman for the title, whatever. But like there's a world where like Jimmy could kind of be the one who turned. No, not either of them winning the titles. But
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
Jay, there's no way.
Not. Ew, no, gross. But like,
I'm down
saying,
since
like,
day one is too. But come on, be serious.
Yeah, no, clips. But Jimmy kind of just really getting tired of Roman shit when he wasn't trying to get down in the first place. Like he saw how Jay was treated. So I don't know. Like now it's got me looking at Jimmy, and it's also got me looking at Solo. Like that like bump was weird too, because him and Solo haven't really had any friction. And obviously Roman was just trying to rush out. So it wasn't anything that was like, it didn't seem intentional or like with malice, but the way Solo looked at him, I was like, oh my God. So yeah, this is blood. They found ways to continue to make it interesting for as long as it's gone, for as ready as we were for it to be done. They continue to make it good. So I can't complain.
And just a real quick side note, for certain people talking about, like the wrong decision was made at WrestleMania, and they'll say at every, the last, what is it, like 20 pay-per-views at this point that the wrong decision was made or whatever. It's just like you still feel the way. And when's the last time that you've been able for 2-3 years in a row to feel a way about the same thing rather than every 3 months you got a new thing? So think about that. Just wanted to put that out there.
That's facts. But Cece, what you got for us?
So my thing, just real quick, I noticed this. I mean, obviously, you notice it time to time or whatever, but it's been like a consistent thing I've been noticing. for like the last maybe like month or so. Because when it hits, it really fucking hits. So like you really notice it then, and when it don't, because you've noticed it when it hits in the same show or whatever, like you really notice how it doesn't, bro. What are we doing with this music, my boy? For the entrances, like, what are we doing? Like, we got the Cody Woe, we got the Seth Rollins, like, we got the Sammy, let's go. Roman got his thing or whatever. After that, my boy, you got a drop off. Like, and the thing is like, I understand, like, you got a jobber or whatever. They don't need, give me crazy music or whatever. But y'all got people, and I'm sorry if this is some of y'all faves and y'all don't feel the same, but it is what it is to me or whatever. Y'all got people who are new talent, who are y'all trying to put over or whatever. Here, take for perfect instance, Raquel Rodriguez or whatever, for example. Raquel or whatever, right? She's supposed to, look at, like, they always talk about how dominant she is or whatever. She's, this big dominant person, whatever. Where's her crazy music? Like, outside of like the Judgment Day, as far as like new people, and I'm excluding Finn in that or whatever, y'all don't really got new people who like got music that's get you excited about seeing them for the next however many years, or even them coming up right now. You know what I mean? Like, bro, the Miz got better music than half of these niggas, bro. Like, what's going on? So my thing is just, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but it be certain times where, like, people will be coming out and I like the person, but I'm not excited at all, because for the time that they came out and walk into the ring, I'm like, bro, this shit do not slap. Like, I don't know. How y'all feel about that?
No, I hear what you're saying. I think, to your point, the people it really hurts is people like Ricochet, where it's like
Yes.
he doesn't have the personal charisma, but if he had like a banger entrance, like it just came in hard, it would like boost him like 10%. And so there's people like that who, like, like Bianca Belair has the charisma, but then she also has a fire entrance. You know what I'm saying? But then there's some people like, Dana Brooke, where it's like she got generic music number four, and it's like, how she's already not doing herself any favors. At least give her some cool music. At least like give her something to look like. Even who was it? Io Shirai, Io Sky. When she first came out, I didn't know anything about her. I knew she was like a big deal, but I didn't know anything about her. You hear that entrance music for the first time, you're like, oh yeah, she's hard. Like that. It don't matter what she does in the ring. Like her entrance music is fire. And it's just sometimes it's like I think they've gone away from like the scripted song, like the songs with words in them, and I think that kind of hurts because I feel like growing up we had interest music that had a bunch of words in it. You would like know the words, and they had like the videos of the characters. They just don't really do that anymore, so there's just kind of a lesser value on interest in general. But I definitely think, yeah, for like newer talent, like you know Tommaso Ciampa, when they like, especially when they have fire music and then they change it, it's like that's the worst. Like Gargano's music was fire, and they just like herbed it, and it's like that's always where it's bad. Where it's like, I'm part of the whole thing was the this rebel heart, that interest. Now you made it kind of like this poppy thing. It's like it's not what I wanted, and I think that just hurts newer talent especially.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Obviously, there are like rights issues, and the people who create the music, like there's problems there. So I think they do the best they can. But I agree, like Raquel, it would make sense for her to have more like dominant type music, but they're pushing her as a face. They're pushing that she's Latina, so the music she has makes sense in that regard. I don't really care for it. Like it's like she's cool. I fuck with her, but yeah, I mean, I think that's just something that will always be something that you'll enjoy. Like certain wrestlers just have those iconic themes.
Mm-hmm.
And they match it like Edge, man. It goes without saying. Like Edge, like you just
At
like
night,
he there's just nothing to say. Like Edge is who he is, and then
or like think about
Randy Orton. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Triple
Triple
H,
H
his
has
two
multiple
themes.
bangers, like has multiple theme songs
He
from
has like three or
DX.
four, bro.
Yeah, he has like the Motorhead ones to like the early Triple H. He has multiple like My Time theme songs where it's like, how does he have so many? And I can't get one like super fire Bobby Lashley entrance, bro. I can't get one. But Triple H has like
Bobby's entrance is
five.
good. Bobby's is
It's
good,
cool.
and
It's
like
cool.
I don't even fuck with him, so I hate to give him compliments, but Bobby's
But
entrance is
but
good.
it's like Bobby's interest is cool. Brock Lesnar's interest is hard. Like Brock Lesnar
Mm.
has no, but it's just that beat something about it. It's just hard, bro. It's like there's no one else coming with like fire like that. That's what I'm saying.
And here's the reason why I specifically talked about new talent or whatever, because it's not just you're not just trying to get new talent over with people who already watch wrestling. when you trying to get new talent over, you're also trying to get new talent over with new viewers or whatever. Like I brought my girl to it. I think that was her first WWE show when we was out here or whatever. It was her first WWE show. So for some of those people, when they were coming out, that first 15, 30 seconds, that's the first impression that she has of them coming out. And it's like when you have the opportunity, like when you can make a first impression and set that standard, then it can change from there. It's harder to get somebody to fuck with you after they already don't fuck with you than it is to turn people against other people, whatever. See, like just for example, look at music and the people who are popular in it. Like niggas put out great songs and then like, oh, he beat a woman. It don't matter. I'm still dancing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they got that impression. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where it's just, this is simple marketing type shit or whatever. It's just like you have the opportunity. And then the other reason why I think it stands out to me, especially in this day and time, is because as somebody who does like fuck around with music or whatever, there's never been a time where it's been so fucking easy to make something that's catchy. Like there's never been a time ever in history where it's so easy to make music that can just kind of like get there and hit. We see this because we see niggas who don't even make music have great songs. So I'm like, bro, if a fucking influencer could have some shit that bang, I just watched this a 5-year-old on stage and she was moving the entire crowd, including me watching that shit on video or whatever. She had maybe her lyrics maybe contained maybe 30 words tops. I was jamming to that shit. So it's just like, for me, I'm just like, bro, step it up, bro. Come on, step. And the only reason why I pointed that part out is because I feel like the rest of the presentation is really, really consistent. It's just that one part, and it's, to me, it's a really big part. It's that moment, like where you're going from them. It's people just talking, the crowd just kind of sitting there, the commentators are talking or whatever, the crowd just sitting there, and then boom, somebody's about to come out. You got to catch people in that moment.
No, for sure. I 100% agree. And I think like there's nothing more telling. When I went to the Raw at Barclays, I think that was October, the weekend of Extreme Rules. It was me, my boy Andrew, another one of our boys, and then like 3 girls. Seth Rollins theme, the girls were singing it immediately. Like they figured it out. They were on it immediately. And I don't think they were really hip to the fact that like that's the thing, everyone sings that theme. And so I think, like that's definitely the difference between like having a banger that casuals can fuck with and not necessarily having anything. Like whose theme I actually like? I actually like Mustafa Ali's theme. But like he's who he is. So and there's also nothing to really sing in it. Like it's just a beat. But like,
and that's the thing too. Like what you said, like even like if you like the theme, but then the person's not there, like there's a way to like match. Even if the person has something, there is a way. Like this is not necessarily a banger that they have or whatever, but it's very, very recognizable, whatever. Like if you go back, when I'm watching, like I'm watching like 99 Raw, I'm almost 2000 or whatever, when Goldust comes out, as soon as it hits that, and then it just has like the sparkling sound or whatever, like there's a uniqueness to, you just know that, like, you know what I mean? There's just because there's times if I'm not looking at the TV and they playing certain niggas music, I don't even know who's coming out, fam. It just sounds so generic that I'm just like, that could literally be anybody.
Yeah. You don't even have to go as far back to Goldust. And again, I said it as a stand. Like that's the whole Bray Wyatt thing, is that Bray Wyatt just has fire entrances. Like his matches don't ever beat that fire. But Bray Wyatt has cool promos and fire entrances, bro. Especially surprise returns. And like that's on a certain level, like, and that's the pageantry. Like that's all you need. If you can just be all right, but you just, like you said, as soon as you, with the cell phones, I remember what that first like live WWE show I went to was like a super cage or whatever in Cincinnati. Bray Wyatt had a steel cage match, bro. Every single person in the crowd, whether you liked Bray Wyatt or not, like afterwards, everyone was not cheering for him. But when that entrance hits, everyone takes their phone out, bro. Everyone, because that is cool. And that's part of wrestling, is that like it's just cool when the music hits, bro. It's just cool to see him walking with that lantern. Like there's just like that little kid in you is just like, man, that's cool. And so entrances are a big part. You can act like it's not, and like it's all this is real sports, and okay, the entrances are cool. Like that's why we watch the thing.
Chan, what you got for us pre-write wise?
Speaking of presentation, mine isn't super long, but there's rumors that they're gonna be redoing the women's belts, and rumors that they're gonna be unifying the tag belt into some sort of mid-card belt. We're getting the new World Heavyweight Championship belt. And maybe I'm in the minority, but I think the belts needed a refresh. I think they like kind of painted themselves into the corner with like the branded belts thing. And I get it, like it sells, it's like cool toys and stuff. But I do think it did kind of like it would make for those, they'd have to do those like handoffs where it's like, oh, the Raw Tag Team Championship gives the belts to the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And it's like, okay, I think that was cool for a time, but I think they should just go back to just different name belts and like just make them look different. Like I don't think belts have to look the same forever. Like belts change. And especially like if you're making improvements to them, like I'm all in favor of it. Like I don't think belts need to just be static and just be like, well, we can't change it. They just change it. It's like, so what? You know what belt it is. Like people complain about that IC title for how long? And now does anyone talk about it? Does anyone be like, you know what? Gunther's amazing, but that black belt, I hate it. Like no one says that. Like no one cares. And so I think if they're gonna try new belts, I'm all for it. Just like give us something new. Like I just think the belts, it's kind of like prom dresses or like wedding dresses. They should just reflect the time. Like you shouldn't be trying to be like, yeah, I want to wear a prom tux that's gonna look cool forever. Like no, wear the corny white one. Like just wear whatever was popping at your time. So like if the belts need to just be like look very 2023, I'm with that. Like I don't need the belts to age well. I want them to look cool for right now. So I'm just all in favor of like making the product look better. Like any way you can just tweak the presentation to make it 5% better, I'm all for it. You know.
Also, from a like two things from a business standpoint, you open up the possibility of because like they sell replica and like fake belts or whatever like that. So you open up the possibility of people being able to customize like different things to a certain degree if you only allow certain customizations. And then two, that's a storyline thing. Do y'all remember how many niggas wanted to get the belt off of John Cena just because of what he did to the belt? Like y'all remember like what like Stone Cold had a storyline where it was just like Vince McMahon got the like got the belt off him, or it was like some weird shit or whatever. He had his own version of the belt, and Vince McMahon didn't like that shit, had a new version. And Stone Cold whole thing was it was damn near like he didn't even want to be champion. He just wanted like his belt. Like, you know what I mean? So like that's another added thing that you could do. And when you think about wrestling or whatever, it's been so much shit that's done or whatever. Why not give yourself more parameters on which to play with so that you can have different storylines? So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And like think how ugly the hardcore title used to look. Like let's not be so precious. Like it's fine. Like you survived. Like some of these old belts used to be ugly, and it's okay. Like every belt is not gonna hit, but we just get through it. That's what we do as wrestling fans. You have a bad gimmick, you get through it, you act like it never happened. It's okay. Like we don't talk about Batista's first gimmick. We just don't talk about it. We don't talk. We don't talk about John Cena's first look. We talk about the Kurt Angle thing, and then we go right to the Doctor of Thugonomics. We don't talk about anything else. Like we just talk about the stuff we like.
Yeah, prototype.
Spike Taylor, man.
Hey man, hey, trying shit. But I honestly, with the belts, the funniest thing is like Bianca is on SmackDown with the Raw Women's title still. Rhea is on Raw with the SmackDown Women's title still. She was on Raw, went to SmackDown to win the title from Charlotte, was on SmackDown, and then Judgment Day got drafted back to Raw. And I people don't want them to do the handoff thing. Like, so I don't know what they're gonna do. I know that there's been rumors that they might change the titles, give them like non-branded names, like whatever the case. I just find it really funny, and like the fact that it's a topic of conversation every week, and I think that they know it, but it's also just like whenever they've done drafts and they've said, oh, brand exclusive, blah, 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 they've never stuck to it. So I expected some wrinkles to happen. Like Sammy and KO are the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. They're technically on both shows. They get drafted to Raw, but they're on SmackDown. Paul Heyman walks into Raw with a visitor's badge. He's just there. Yeah. He's not there with the Usos. He's not there with Solo. He's not there with Roman. He's just there doing his own shit. Like, it is what it is. Like it's not that serious to me, but I am interested in seeing what they do. And honestly, I think like the branded titles have definitely run their course. Like, me when I was a kid, I fucked with the World Tag Team title. I fucked with the WWE Tag Team title.
Exactly.
For the women, yeah, you can't bring back divas. So like they're gonna have to figure something out. They could do like women's Universal and women's.
They say heavyweight.
Yeah, something like that. It could be
funny that Bianca is on SmackDown with that red ass title.
Red belt. It looks silly. That's what I'm saying, bro. It just looks silly. It's just like you've painted yourself into a corner. You gotta just give it up, bro. Time is done.
Let's jump into this free write though. Cece, you got a question here for us. What's up?
Yeah, so I was just looking at stuff like, they kind of, after they did the draft stuff, it's very clear that after getting the titles off of the Usos, even with, Raquel and Liv, what they were doing with them and what they're about to do with stuff, you put Ronda in the tag team, it's very clear what you're saying is we want the tag team picture to be serious. Same thing with the guys or whatever. But a question has started to pop up because people are always saying at different moments, like, oh, this is gonna happen, or I want this person to do blah blah. So I'm just asking y'all, like, do you think there's any male tag teams that should have one or both of the superstars involved going solo runs? And we know that people have been talking about Tez going on and stuff. And I myself has been looking at Chad Gable like, hey, we might have to get this nigga a little, you know what I mean? But so that's the first question. And then the second question is, on the other side of that, which superstars, this be women or men, do you think would be better off in a tag team that are solo right now? So first question, do you think anybody should go solo? And then the second question is, do you think anybody who's solo who you be like, hey, bro, you might have to go ahead and just 50-50 that thing?
I definitely think, yeah, everyone says Montez, and of course, we all see it. I think one that's kind of sneaky is Santos Escobar. Like, I think Rey Mysterio is not obviously like dead weight, but it's like Rey Mysterio gives you a ceiling. And for someone who needs the buoy, that's very helpful. Like Dominic, that helped him a lot being with Rey. But like Santos, after like a couple matches, you already see that like he doesn't really need Rey. And it's cool and it's like a dope story, but you like us real legato heads, the ones who know it's kind of like Hydra going within Shield. It's like the legato is not that. They know that the real fire is going to be when he turns on Ray and reforms like legato and goes full heel like Cartel Boss again, because that's the coolest Santos. And like that's the kind of thing where it's like it's not a bad part of the story. Like he needs this babyface run. He's getting so over. He's doing so good, but it's only gonna make it so much sweeter when he does end up going solo and going heel and like really because he's such a fire wrestler, has such a cool character, great look, great move set. It's just like the tag team division is almost like it's like if he was tagging with someone else, maybe, but I think Rey Mysterio kind of just is like it's just always gonna be a solid like A minus B plus. But you're never gonna get like an A plus with Rey in the match because it's always gonna end in the 619. It's always gotta end in like the same kind of three beats. And so like once Santos can get out of that thing and be his own man, I think you're really gonna see something special on, the WWE networks.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be fire. Honestly, Montez, Chad, Santos. I don't know of anyone else who I think should go on a solo run. I think a lot of the tag teams make sense. You look at Viking Raiders, like they're definitely better together. I do really fuck
You don't
with
want Ivar? You don't want no Ivar solo run, bro?
I mean, hey, I actually do really fuck with them, like as individuals, but as a tag team, they just make more sense. So like,
yeah,
I just don't see how that would work. But there's really nobody else. I'm trying to think of all the tag teams there are right now.
Only tag team I would say is and this is maybe like just because I don't know, but like Maximum Male Models, I do want to see what like Mace, Mace, whatever is like in solo because like they had him do that kind of commentary stuff for a little, and you thought he might wrestle, but they never really given him because he was Mace and now he's Mace. They never really given him like an actual singles character, so I would be just interested because I mean Mansoor's cool and it's a funny tag team. I like the gimmick, but it's just kind of like I do wonder what it would be like just to see him on his own, just because I've just never really seen it.
That was my wild joker that made me ask this question. It was myself. That was my. I was wondering if somebody would say it.
You know what else I got actually? I'm interested in what this would look like. I feel like eventually the Judgment Day is going to get tired of Dom Mysterio shit.
Right.
I'm interested in seeing what he would be like by himself, whether he stays a heel or whether he turns face. Because he's incredible right now. Like his character is great, but he's always got the backing of Rhea, Finn, and Damian Priest. So it's like even if his matches aren't the best, and he's gotten better, like Dom's probably going to end up winning because one of them is going to get involved. When he has to do it by himself, when he has to promo by himself, he has to wrestle by himself. He may not be able to rely on people. Like I'm interested in what that looks like. Not that I necessarily want him to be solo, but I'm interested in what that would look like.
No, that's a really good point because it's almost like it's kind of like I was saying with Solo, where it's like I'd be interested to see what a Dom storyline looks like that doesn't revolve around like Rey, because all of his story, even the heat he gets now, it's basically because of the stuff he did to Rey. And like, there's a stuff of Rhea that people like, but like, I'm just interested to see that first non-story that has nothing to do with the Rey stuff. It's just about Dom. Like when he was talking about trying to face Gunther, like Dom trying to win a title for himself. It will be interesting to see what kind of character he takes on. That is a really good one. I didn't really think about that.
So who is Solo that y'all think should be like, hey, bro, this shit ain't been working. You might want to just stick to the tag team scene.
Quite a few people. Elias, Corbin, Mustafa Ali. Elias, Corbin, Mustafa Ali. I had somebody else. Damn, I forgot. They slipped my mind. Yeah, go ahead.
Sheamus. Sheamus need to go. Austin Theory as well. Both of them need to go tag it on up. They can tag together for all I care. But
oh shit, Austin Theory.
Hold on. I don't know about all that. Theory's carrying pretty well by himself.
Yeah, I hear you. But as John Cena was said, I don't believe
you read that John Cena article, huh? You read that.
We don't believe you. You need more people.
I don't dislike Theory. I just think that it was kind of like when Theory was with Gargano. I think, and also like the stuff with John Cena, like I think Theory's best work when he is plays as the foil to someone like a straight man. And I think he does that good with some of his feuds. Like that makes them interesting, where Sheamus can do that. But I think it would even make him more interesting. That was just baked into his character. Like if he had an older like wrestler that he was always working with, I think that would help him a lot.
You know what?
That's a good point. I just look at Riddle and Randy. Yeah,
exactly. Like that type of thing. Exactly. But he healed.
You know what I just thought of? Theory, Corbin, and Ziggler together.
That would be very interesting.
Just some of the most despicable niggas. Like just all the annoying niggas
2016
because they would annoy each other and trying to annoy other niggas. And like you would think, like almost damn near every week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you would think, oh, they might break up. But they're just so evil and on the side of evil that eventually they just click up again and like get rid of. They're like, listen, fuck whatever we got going on. Fuck this nigga. Like,
that would be fun.
And it would kind of be a situation where he has two vets kind of mentoring him, like
exactly.
So I'd be interested in that because like, bro, I ain't want to see Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville together, but shit, I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with it.
I don't want to see them apart for a while, bro. Like I really like this.
And shit, speaking of women, honestly, Shotzi needs to just only work with partners, and they've kind of moved her around with Tegan, and she was working with Raquel for a bit, and so
Tegan's another one.
Shotzi needs to not wrestle alone. Tegan, Dana Brooke needs to be part of a jobber tag team.
Yeah.
Indy Hartwell needs to be part of a tag team permanently.
What's love on NXT? Gigi Dolan and JC Jane.
Oh my god,
tag it back
really
up.
Bad.
Tag it back up, man.
Really bad.
Go find Mandy. Tag it back up, dog. You tried it. It's not giving.
It's not
a damn thing. It's like it's so funny, but like it really shows you ass can only take you so far. It can really within wrestling business. It can really only get you so far.
I'm gonna say a name that I think, especially at this point in their career, whatever you thinking like, oh, okay, we kind of getting the last years out, so we want to do like the best thing. But I'm like, I'm sorry, this might be the best thing, bro. Bobby Lashley need to be in a fucking tag team, bro. I'm sorry.
Let's talk about it.
I'm sorry.
He should have been. That's that's the thing with the Hurt business. He just should not be by himself. Like it's like Omos. Like Omos should not be by himself. Omos has a manager, but Omos should, if he's not with the manager, should always have a tag partner. Like Omos.
I don't mind Omos by himself. I'm not going for it. I don't mind it.
Okay.
I've enjoyed what Omos has done more than what Bobby's done in the last.
I agree with you there.
Like 6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say this whole year I've way more fucked with Omos than I have.
But
He's grown on me a lot.
You're also for Omos. A lot of what you're thinking about is how entertaining he is during his actual matches. But like week to week, that's mostly MVP carrying him character wise. Like,
well, he also doesn't show up week to week. Like they're booking him as an attraction. Yeah, Bobby, we get too much of him.
Get more of him. Yeah.
Yeah,
he has to talk with that bald head, and like it's not his fault. He just looks so goofy sometimes. Like
he cannot talk.
The other side of it is like with Omos, we don't know if this is his ceiling yet. I know I've seen Bobby's ceiling. I'm sorry. I know I've seen
it. I like you saying this is an insult, but I'm saying this is a compliment. His ceiling is when you were with the Hurt Business. Like that was the peak of Bobby Lashley's ceiling. Like I've seen your ceiling, and is with them 3 other niggas. So go back. It's like nothing. Even when you were WWE champion, it was cool, but there was nothing cooler than when y'all were in them suits and y'all took off y'all suit jackets and went and beat up them people in Max. Like that was the coolest thing Bobby Lashley has ever done in WWE. And so I think he's like, yeah, I've seen what you can be. Go do that.
This is factual. Yeah, I agree. Chan, what is your free write question for us?
It's funny you mentioned Dom because mine is about the Judgment Day. And I think what's interesting about the Judgment Day to me is that they are very like in the picture, like they're on TV every week, a lot of time, especially because now Rhea's champ. But it's like they're in around a lot of title like storylines, but they're not really title contenders for anything. And it's like, what do you guys think will be the first men's title that the member of the Judgment Day wins? Like, do you think it'll be Finn getting some solo? Do you think it'll be Finn and Dom, Finn and Dane, Dom and Dane? Like who do you, or it'll be like a New Day situation where they just get the tag titles and split? Like, what do you think will be? Because I feel like they have like their personal feuds where it's like they're beefing with like Edge or something, but they haven't actually. The guys really haven't had a sustained like we're trying to get gold push. And I just wonder what you think that'll be like.
I got a weird. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's a unique situation because the 3 of them are all so good by themselves. Like as a faction, they're together, but it would almost feel like pairing up any 2 of them to be tag team champions would be misusing what they could be. Like
exactly.
I could see a scenario where somehow Dom is facing Gunther, and they help Dom beat Gunther, and then Dom is Intercontinental Champion, and Finn and Priest are like his heavies, and that might seem like a demotion for what they could be. But if they want to go like all the titles route, because Dame is being looked at as a main event guy now too, so it's like that nigga should be facing Gunther, but that nigga should also be facing whoever the World Heavyweight Champion's gonna be like, and then Finn, of course, Finn is always
exactly.
Like, Finn should be a world championship contender too. So it's just like I think eventually it may get to a point where like Dame and Dom are tag team champions, and I think that they're over enough to where they can be main eventers as tag team guys. But it's hard to pick like who should be the one to get the solo title, and whether or not you're wasting them by putting the tag team titles on like 2 of them. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's definitely a conundrum because they're all good. Like you can really make a case for all of them holding a singles title.
So it's for that exact reason that I think Dom's going to be the first one to get the next title. It's for that exact, because think about it. Like if you think about, like what do we do with Finn? What do we do with Dan? And like, because you have to work. You're not just working with them individually. You're dealing with them and their dynamic in relation to the group. But when you think about, someone going for something and getting something, especially as a heel or whatever, whether they get it or not or whatever, it makes sense for Finn to not get the world championship belt. He doesn't need it right now. There's no point for him having it. Damian already did the US title thing. He doesn't need to go against Gunther right now, whatever. Like going from Bad Bunny to Gunther, it's kind of like it's not like that's a huge jump and not like he doesn't deserve it or anything like that, but there should be steps along the way to that. Whereas if you look at Dom, hit the whole thing with him is that we feel like this nigga don't deserve shit in the first place. So if he gets something, then now you really like it just gives you even more reason, and it kind of prolongs like the hate. He already getting booed and he don't got shit on his waist. Imagine if this nigga winning like a random ass belt off some slimy shit. Like, are you crazy? Like, it's really going, and then that's just gonna make whatever the faces involved in that arena for that championship, just people are automatically off the rip rooting for them because they hate Dom, and you can get more mid card people over. So I think he's the first one to get it, to be honest.
It would feel very like if very this generation's Carlito. Like it would feel very like, oh, Dom got the IC title off Gunther. Look at that, huh? It's like it would just be very like, huh? Like it was like that. Didn't see that one coming today. Like it would be that for sure.
Yeah, and I honestly think you can do more. Like saying when you said earlier, like him winning and then being the heavies, like because then you can get the same way what they got with the bloodline or whatever, right? Like the whole thing with the Judgment Day is that they all like cool with each other and shit like that. But we've been going. Has it been? What has it been? Over a year at this point? A year and some change? I don't know how long it's been.
Yeah,
but it's been a while.
Rhea's been in there. Oh, just hit a year. So the group has been together probably like a year and 4 months or something like that.
Gotcha.
Since WrestleMania.
Right. Once you start hitting that, like, with a faction, once you start hitting that 2-3 year mark, it just can't be the same shit all the time or whatever. And it ain't gotta be the thing that everybody fucking like devolves in some weird thing or whatever. But it would be really, really cool to have this person who was obviously, Finn Balor, first ever Universal Champion, always essentially is a name that you could literally throw into the championship scene at any point, and no one's gonna really like question why he's there. And then also Damian Priest, also at any point in time could be the US. I could go into a coma and wake up 3 months later, and you could tell me Damian Priest is the US champion, the IC champion, anything like that, and I'm like, okay. It doesn't not make sense to me. You know what I mean? But if I go into a coma and I wake up and Dom is the IC title, has the IC title, I'm gonna go back and watch those 3 months I'm gonna be like, wait, what? Like, you know what I mean? There's interest there. I need to know why this happened. You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, the other thing when you get the dynamics with the relationship is you have like that's the whole point. These other two people obviously should be there, and Dom kind of like really like it's like, why is he there kind of thing. So now they might even have like a thing where it's just like they might be looking at him like, if it's not for us, you really wouldn't have, what I mean? There's like things that you can, the same way that the bloodline has their like little tensions here and there, but then they get back cool or whatever. You can play with that, even if it's them just like insulting each other for like a week and then it like kind of goes back. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing that we haven't seen. We only seen it in like there's been tiny parts of it, but you haven't seen like the Judgment Day kind of like within each other, like kind of being a thing where it's just like, you're that guy or whatever, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, but not in a, we're going to implode way, but just like oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean?
It's so funny you say that because it's like, yeah, you're like, if you woke up from a coma and you found out Damian Priest was the IC champion, you'd be like, okay, so he faced Miz at which SmackDown? Like, it wouldn't even, like, I know exactly how that storyline was. Like, what SmackDown did he win the title? Like, it's like not even a question. But yeah,
I don't need to go back and watch anything.
Yeah, you just have one. You're like, oh, so was it Baron Corbin he beat or Miz? Like, I have that's my only question. Like, was it at Elimination Chamber opening match or was it at Royal Rumble like mid card? I just for reference, I want to know what time of year it was when I was asleep. That's the only thing. But Dom, you have serious questions. Dom, you're like, so was someone injured? Like what?
How?
Like
how, nigga?
That's the word right there. And that's like what people don't understand. It's like that's like people don't understand why they're interested in things or whatever. Like it's a reason why reality TV like is what it is. There's a reason why certain things that you're interested in or whatever. It's because you're trying to ask that question. It's the how. You want to figure it out. But you're really like, you want to, as much as you want to figure it out, you're going to sit there and let them tell that story to you or whatever. So yeah, like, I mean, I don't need to figure out how Finn or Damian has a championship on their waist. They're champions. They've been champions already. I know that. Dom, I need to know how, because when he got the tag team titles, it's like, well, I know how. It was Ray. That was the whole reason right there. Yeah. If he gets anything else, it's like, nigga, how?
My question, and I feel like we talked about this our first episode back because it was a Cody episode, but I've been really racking my brain about this Cody Rhodes situation because the story has to be finished. There's no way they don't go back to this Roman Reigns situation. Cody's on Raw. Roman is on SmackDown. Raw has its own title. Money in the Bank is coming up. We assume Cody's going to be in there. Will they let the person who has Money in the Bank try to cash in on either champion? And if so, would Cody try to face Roman at SummerSlam? Is SummerSlam not big enough for the moment? Are they going to prolong this to the next Mania? Because then it's like, is it going to be like my rewrite where Cody holds the briefcase the whole year and then says, I'm going to face you at Mania? Does Cody win the Royal Rumble again? Like, how do they make this Cody thing happen? I really feel like they want to prolong it to the next WrestleMania. I really feel like they want to give him this moment in Philly, because I don't know if the now Night of Champions to SummerSlam is enough to handle this bloodline stuff and put Cody in that match. But it's like, you don't want to do this in what, like, what's I think the September pay-per-view is supposed to be in India. You don't want to do this there. I think
no, you're not going to have the American Nightmare win his first title in India. I don't think. No, Armand, I don't think Triple H is going to do that. Just going to take a guess. But then
it's like, you don't want to do it at Extreme Rules if they do Extreme Rules in October. You don't want to do it at Survivor Series. I don't think. I don't know if they're doing a December pay-per-view. Royal Rumble, I don't think they want to do it then either. So like, it's starting to feel like WrestleMania is the only logical time, but it's just like, how are they going to get there? How is Cody either going to make his way over to SmackDown or have something that allows him to challenge the SmackDown champion? Yeah, you got to figure it out, because I'm racking my brain.
So here's what I think. I think it's gonna, it's fucking like Daniel said, man, perfectly balanced. If you looked at how he said he has to finish the story. So let's say we're halfway through, right? Let's say WrestleMania happens. That's halfway through the story or whatever, right? What was the first half? It was Cody literally jumping from one company, coming back to the other, chasing this title or whatever. And I think the other half of the story, and you're starting to see it now with like bloodline stuff, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be championships lost or whatever. I think the first half of the story is Cody going to Roman, and I think the other half of the story is Roman kind of just ending up like right where Cody is. You know what I mean? It's going to be one of those things where through all the shit that like Roman and his whole crew and all that story is going through or whatever, it's going to end up at Cody's front door, and Cody's not really going to be looking for it, but he's always kind of like looking for it. So it's going to be one of those things where, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's, you know, whether it's like somebody you're trying to date or a job you're trying to get or whatever, you know, think about that time when you're going really crazy for it. You didn't really get it then, but when you wasn't really looking or whatever, it was like, oh shit, I got it now. You know what I mean? I think that's how that shit is going to go or whatever. Especially like when you look at Roman right now. And that's my main driver is like, Cody's calling out Brock Lesnar. This nigga is like, you know what I mean? Like he's all right over there. Whereas like Roman is scared of his youngest on TV cousin. Like, you know what I mean? So like, you know, he bumped into his cousin, was like, bro. It was, yeah, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, little listen, I raised all my little, like, not raised, but, you know, I babysat all my little fucking cousins. I ain't never gonna be, oh, I don't give a fuck how big them niggas get. Ain't never gonna be a moment in life where I bump shoulders with them and I'm like, oh, my bad, little cut. The fuck no, nigga. Like, so when you see that, it's just like, okay, obviously, you know, there's instability there. And obviously the whole thing with the bloodline is, oh, there's instability. Is something gonna happen? But I think that's how it's going to happen. It's going to be a thing where this thing devolves like slowly over time. It's not going to be a thing where like the bloodline like breaks down one by one. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just going to be like a sequence of events that brings Roman to Cody's front door to where like, you know, he's, you know, maybe he says some slick shit or something, or he try like, you know, like, often they do this in movies and shit, like where somebody tries to like make a play, and because they're trying to make a play on one person, they ended up shark bait for somebody else. I think that's how we get there. Whatever. I don't know how, but I think that's how we get there.
You guys are thinking too hard about this. We'll put way too much thought into this. Armand, you said it. This is not the Eastern and Western Conference of the NBA. These people jump shows all the time. And one thing I know about Hunter Hearst Helmsley, one thing I know that gets him out of bed in the morning is an invasion angle. Hunter loves somebody showing up somewhere he's not supposed to be. Hunter, it wakes him, it drives him, bro. Nothing makes him harder than the idea of someone sneaking into a show they're not supposed to be on and jumping someone. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to have Cody just start jumping Roman every time he sees him, being like, you are afraid of me. We have an unsanctioned match at WrestleMania. That way I know you can get your bullshit off. And they're going to have some no DQ last man standing 20-minute intro extravaganza at WrestleMania. But yeah, they're just going to have kind of like how John Cena, when he tried to get the Undertaker to challenge him, he kept losing. Like he kept not having a way to do it. They're going to put all these things in front of Cody, and he's going to keep almost getting there. He'll be the last person eliminated in the Royal Rumble before, I don't fucking know, Drew or whoever wins that. He'll be the last person in the Elimination Chamber. He'll be right about to get the Money in the Bank ladder match before LA Knight knocks. It'll be all of that. And then it'll just get to a point where he just starts losing his mind. He'll show up. He's going to show up with a sledgehammer and do fake Triple H shit. He'll have a tank. It'll be obnoxious and beautiful and tacky. But you know exactly what it's going to be. You know that. You see it. You've seen him do it too many times. He did it with NXT. What? He did it with Seth Rollins. He loves it. It excites him.
I'm really interested in that desperation angle, which it seems like you're getting to. Like, when Cody pulls up to work wearing some like sweats and a t-shirt, not even wearing a suit,
no suit, no tan suit this week.
That's when hey Roman, your days are really numbered. Your day, because
hair starts looking a little disheveled, getting a little long.
Bro,
they doing vignettes where Brandy talking about he ain't been home in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
bro, like
get nasty.
Because you remember with Cena after he lost to The Rock, he was like, he got divorced, all this, like he was going through it. He had a terrible year, but he got his way back and he won. So it's like, bro, when Cody shows up in some sweats like that's when hey Roman, your days are really numbered.
He's like, I got nothing to lose.
This nigga relentless.
Yeah. They'll somehow get Dustin to show up. They'll break him off some money. He gonna be the vignette being like, Cody, like, you got to do it for dad, type shit. Like, it'll be ridiculous, but it's 100% going to be something. Like I think people are like, well, what if it's like, it's not going to be that deep. When they want something to happen, they had Roman beat Brock Lesnar and have both belts. You know how silly that is, bro? But that's because that's what they wanted to happen. If they want Cody to face Roman, they're just going to make it happen. And no one's going to be at WrestleMania like, this just isn't technically how the brand split works, so I don't believe in this match. Like, no one's going to be saying that. Like, who cares? Yeah. Like, this is the match we want.
That last Cody and Brock match, that was their first match, right? Like,
first
ever?
Match, yeah.
I cannot wait to hear Cody tell Roman, how many times did it take you to beat Brock Lesnar?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You scared of me. You scared of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar scared of me. Wait till he drops that one on Roman's head. You need to be scared of me. That's all I'm saying. He's gonna be up in the crowd. He's gonna finally have the suit back on, talking Roman shit down. Roman's gonna send Solo out of him. He's gonna eat Solo. He's gonna eat both the Usos. Like you see what it is. Like it'll be some like Daniel Bryan, but like make it Midwestern, like good old boy story. And it's gonna be fire too. You can sit there. It's gonna be like the entrances alone.
Yeah. And you're right. Like typically with most things, I'm capable of just like being like, yo, it's their job to figure it out. I'm just gonna let them book it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I think the thing is like we're seeing all these annoying ass takes about they made a mistake at WrestleMania. The decision's not aging well, blah blah blah. And it's like I miss when I wasn't on wrestling Twitter and I wasn't thinking about the booking so much. I was just watching the show and enjoying it. I would just let the shit happen, like figure it out whenever I'm meant to figure it out. So I'm definitely trying to like chill on that. So this was a very relaxing conversation. But
sorry, one last thing. And this is something looking back on it, you should have known. If Cody's gonna win the title, his interest could be way harder than the one at last WrestleMania. Just with the Angel Wings is not enough for his title, like documentary WrestleMania first title interest. It's gonna be way more extravagant than that. Like we should have known when he just had the wings, was like, that's it.
No helicopter. He gonna have a holographic Dusty.
Literally walking down the aisle like it's his fucking wedding, bro. That's hard. It's gonna be crazy, bro. If the hologram pops up, you're like, hey, put some money on Cody right now, bro. Singing is winning.
That's hard. I'm not going for holographic dust.
No, because you see what they're doing, like the DH and shit and all this different shit. I'm like, bro, I mean,
it's the budget.
It's not that far off.
What you think them TBS wipeout checks going to? He said, Hunter, I have an idea for you, bro. I got a hologram guy. So I got a hologram guy in Philly. Talk to me.
Because they definitely did a holographic Paul Bearer for the Undertaker. So like they have that technology, my brother. That's gonna be fire.
Fire.
Wow. Let's jump into our rewrite. So with Night of Champions coming up, this is a very championship themed episode. Now, Night of Champions is a celebration of course, the champions in WWE. And this has been various iterations. They had Vengeance Night of Champions, and they just had Night of Champions. Then they had Clash of Champions. Then they took the pay-per-view away for a couple of years, but now it's back. Night of Champions is here. And you know, the one thing with that pay-per-view, the gimmick is every single title is defended. Now, we're not going to book every single title in WWE history because that's a lot. It would take us a while. So we each have 3 championships, and what we are going to be doing is booking a championship match based off of every single person who has held those titles. Fantasy booking what we think will be the most fire match based off people who have held those titles. And I think the best place to start is with Mid Card Mafia. Channing, what you got for us for the United States, the Intercontinental, and the European Championship?
Okay, so this is something most of you probably think you know, and you're right, but you don't understand the sheer number of people who've held these titles. And so I did have to bound it, and also I think it made it more fun for me. So in my scenario, like in my portion of the show, this is all like real time. So this is all happening today. And the premise of this Night of Champions, think like multiverse in Marvel. So like we're gonna crown the undisputed United States champion of all time, the undisputed European champion of all time, undisputed IC. So it's like a Hall of Fame type thing where it's basically voted on by their peers and they just like are awarding the belts, and there'll be matches to go with these awardings. So we start with the promo between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz, of course, being like, of course, like one of us is the greatest IC champion of all time. Like, I mean, look at us, like it should be me. No, I mean, I'm Mr. Monday Night. I'm The Miz. I have a TV show. I'm Dolph Ziggler, Comedy Central. Da, 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 da. You think you know me? Oh my God, Edge comes out. Edge is like, first and foremost, y'all are both mini me's. Y'all are both second-rate edges. Like, y'all just wanted to be me. I should be the undisputed IC title. Like, I'm the radar superstar. I'm the one who had the most watched Raw segment all time. Da, 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 da. Boom, 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 boom. Break the walls down. Oh my God, Chris Jericho's back. He said, y'all are all my sons. All y'all are many Chris Jericho's. I'm the undisputed IC champion. It'll be me. And as the IC title should be defended, we're going to have a 4-way ladder match. So later tonight, we will have Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz versus Edge versus Chris Jericho. Fatal 4-way IC title ladder match for the undisputed IC title of all time. Our first match, the European Championship. So, as voted by his peers, Christian comes out. He's like, obviously, I should be the undisputed European champion. I'm the only European champion who's really still wrestling. Also, the European title is basically the AEW belt because all the former European champions that are still wrestling are all in AEW. It's like Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Mark Henry, Christian. It's a lot of people if you really look at the numbers. William Regal. And so he's like, AEW's belt, we're going to take it home. Wall again. Oh my God, RVD's here. He's like, hold on a minute, Christian. I'm here to represent the Federation, ECW. So we have our first match, Christian versus Rob Van Dam for the undisputed European Championship. So during the match, we are towards the end of the match. Both men are down. We have Rob Van Dam attempting to hit a rolling thunder on Christian. He misses, hits the ref, knocks him out. You think you know me? Edge is out again. Oh, he's coming out to help his brother Christian. What a beautiful moment. Oh no, kick to the midsection. Execution. Christian stunned. He gets up. Spear. Christian's down. Oh my God. Frog splash. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. RVD wins. Edge gets the camera. He said, I'm WWE for life. He said, I'm a for lifer. He said, there's not no AW belt on this side. So there we go. First match, Rob Van Dam, undisputed European champion of all time. Second match, like I said, we have our ladder match. So during the ladder match, Christian is battling out Chris Jericho, as most ladder matches go. They have the 2 different pairings. So you have the 2 young guys, the 2 old guys. You have all 4. You have the different combos, what have you. Some very cool spots. You get, Dolph Ziggler hitting a zigzag off the ladder. You get some, lion saw, what have you. So Christian comes out getting his lick back, trying to get Edge back, knocks over a ladder that has both Edge and Chris Jericho out. So they're both knocked out the match. Now we have Dolph and Ziggler and the Miz in the center of the ring, brawling it out, hitting their finishers, going crazy. So Miz low blows Dolph, sets up a ladder. Maurice comes out. He's like, hey, babe, come here. Help me hold the ladder. She grabs the ladder. Oh, she low blows the Miz. She screams, you need to be at home with the kids. You don't need to be no IC title. I need your help. Dolph Ziggler climbs top, gets the IC title. Oh my God, Maurice has turned on the Miz, which now sets up SummerSlam. Dolph Ziggler versus the Miz in a steel cage match to kid Maurice out. If the Miz loses, he has to stay home and watch the kids while Maurice goes on tour with Dolph Ziggler. We're back, baby. The mid card is back.
This is amazing.
This is wait. Just wait. That's not even my best one. Last match, U.S. title. Who's the greatest U.S. title of WWE history? Of course, John Cena, the man who made a spinner belt. We all agree to this. So there's not going to be a match where I was going to give John the belt, go home, have a nice moment. John Cena comes to the ring, says thank you, gives a nice little speech. I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool. We're running it back. You're right, we're running it back. Carlito, John Cena, 2. Can lightning strike twice? Can the kid do it? This is buff Carlito. Remember, this is new Carlito. This is big Carlito. So we have a great 30-minute classic. Carlito hits some new moves he can't hit. But at the end, as the kid does, John Cena hits a couple FUs, a rolling FU, takes it out. 1, 2, 3. John Cena is undisputed Universal Champion. Burn it down. What is that? Seth Rollins? Seth Rollins, the newly crowned World Heavyweight Champion, comes to the ring. He says, John Cena, you got that U.S. title. I got this World Heavyweight title. SummerSlam's coming up. Why don't we see if we can do it again? Now we have the reverse. The U.S. champion, John Cena, versus the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Both belts. Can Seth Rollins do it again? Is he going to bring out the white? Can John Cena get his lick back? Can he right the wrongs of past? And that's the closing shot, the stare down. John Cena, Seth Rollins, SummerSlam, main event. Boom. There it is.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It rhymes. How beautiful is that?
That was great.
Nuts, but it was hard.
I love it. Like, can you imagine Carlito, John Cena 2, the classic, a technical masterpiece.
I would love to see it, especially super buff Carlito.
Buff Carlito, man.
Bro, that alone, the appearance from Puerto Rico, I'm like, I'm good for like, can I just get 6 months of Carlito real quick?
Yeah, man, give him a run.
Run it.
I'm not mad at that.
Run.
Need it. CC, you're up.
I'm about to make Channing sound sane. I'm so listen, if you've been tuning in for this episode about an hour ago, I said some stuff. If you remember that, it's coming back. So you know what I mean? I'm over here. I'm not even going to tell y'all which championships I'm working with. I'm just going to work right through it and let y'all experience this. Boom. We start the show or whatever, right? We had the pyro, blah, blah, blah. It's Night of Champions or whatever, right? The commentary team or whatever is like, they're talking, and then you just hear them say like, I don't know what's going on here. And then, you know, the camera pans, R-Truth is putting on a headset. He's sitting down. He has a 24/7 championship title. And they're telling him, they're like, R-Truth, you do know that you're going to be competing tonight, right? What, you know, he's like, yeah, but I just want to take a look at what's happening before I compete tonight or whatever. They're like, you know, don't you want to get ready? He's like, no, I'm ready. I did my stretches. You know how he talks or whatever. And the reason why he's sitting there is because he's about to watch a 30-man battle royal to determine who's going to be facing him in a ladder match for the 24/7 championship. That's right. I'm not going to tell you everybody who's in this battle man royal, but just to let you know, here's 10 names. Here's a third of the people who are going to be involved in this or whatever. Channing told you what's happening with him is present day. Nigga, fuck that. This is like when everybody came back at the end of the Avengers or whatever. This is like goddamn no, fuck that. This is Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse was happening right now. So here's who we got in this 30-man battle royal. We got Brian Pillman, we got Leo Rush, we got the Patriot, we got Mr. Kennedy, we got Blue Meanie, we got David Otunga, we got Buff Bagwell, we got Santino Marella, we got Vladimir Kozlov, we got Viscera, and that's just 10 of the names or whatever, right? So here's how it goes. This 30-man battle royal goes crazy. But at the end of it, there's 3 people who all get knocked out literally all at the same time and have their legs hit the feet at the same time. Their feet hit the floor at the same time. Those people are Hurricane Helms, Al Snow, and Zach Gowen. So what happens is our truth grabs the mic and he's like, "No, I believe fair is fair. They all got eliminated. None of them are winners or whatever." So it looks like he's saying like, look, I don't got to defend this belt. They all got eliminated. Nobody won. There's no reason, that's what it looks like. But then he says, well, since y'all can't figure, because R-Truth is kind of like his character is kind of an idiot. He says, but since y'all can't figure out, a winner or whatever, and y'all all got eliminated at the same time, I just face all 3 of y'all for the ladder match. So what was going to be a one-on-one ladder match for the 24/7 championship is now a fatal 4-way ladder match because R-Truth said, instead of you having like a triple threat real quick to see who'll be the one, I'll face all 3 of you. He made the odds worse for himself in true R-Truth fashion. So basically what happens is this match goes on. Half of the people from the battle royal come back to interrupt the match. Shit gets crazy. There's so many people around the ring. R-Truth just basically gets scared because he's like thinking it's like 24/7 rules when in actuality, like you actually have to go grab the championship from up the ladder. So he's so scared. He grabs Zach Gowen and he starts swinging around like a bow stick. I'm sorry if that's ableist, what I just said. I apologize. Then he just throws him into the crowd. And there's so many people everywhere that the only way he can like really escape is by climbing up the ladder. So he just accidentally like grabs the title back, R-Truth or chains. That's how we start the fucking show. Next up, women's tag titles. It's a fatal 4-way between Ronda and Shayna. And here's a new tag team. Nia Jax and Doudrop are on the same team. And then we got Bayley and Sasha. And then all 3 of them are already out in the ring. They don't know who the last person is going to be because we in this universe, Liv still got hurt or whatever. For some reason, Chelsea and Sonya, they're not really involved or whatever. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, they still have their NXT tag titles and kind of caught up in like kind of getting rid of that or whatever. There's no clear like 4th, so we don't know who's going to be the 4th one. So then all of a sudden you see lights go out, stage kind of lights up, a little bit of pyro goes off. You see a 5'7", 5'8" shadowy figure or whatever, long hair or whatever, standing on a stage, a mic stand. You're like, what's going on? You can only see a silhouette, and then you just hear and then all you hear is Young Moolah, baby. That's right, it's Lil Wayne. He starts performing Lollipop so he can introduce Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young. That's right, the team of Young Moolah. we are here. So here's what happens. I'm not gonna go through everything in this match, but at some point, Young Moolah 3Ds Bayley through a table. Nia Jax and Doudrop each powerbomb Young Moolah and Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young through tables. And then at some point, Ronda, Bayley, and like Shayna and Sasha, they all have like a 2-minute stretch where they getting some offense off on each other, and that shit is fire as hell. And then like Bayley's trying to like fuck with Nia or whatever, but she can't really hit her with punches. Sasha tries to attack her from behind or whatever, and Nia's like, "You're not doing nothing either." So then Bayley tries to lowball Nia or whatever, and she gives her the old classic hacky comedy sketch where it's like, "You can't lowblow a woman." And then like at some point, like there's a big skirmish or whatever, and then Ronda like basically sacrifices Shayna in that skirmish, like putting her in the way of like maybe getting hit by like Nia and Doudrop at the same time, and Sasha also gets caught up in that or whatever. Bayley gets caught up in that also. So then Ronda is able to put Sasha in armbar so they can win the titles. That's right. Sasha Banks just put somebody over for a championship, guys. So Ronda and Shayna are your new tag team title holders. And now we are at the WWE Championship for the main event. So in this universe, what happens in real life kind of still happens. So a little bit or whatever, at least the premise. So this is, Seth Rollins had at this point for whatever year part of the universe, whatever we are, Seth Rollins had the title, but he had to vacate it or whatever, so he's out of the picture. So Roman Reigns goes on Raw. This is not Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. This is pre-Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. This is the one we're dealing with. He goes on Raw to say he should be champion. He'll beat anybody to win it or whatever. He's not a Wild Thing, but he is Dean Ambrose, and he comes out and he says, "I'll challenge you for the championship," because this is like basically kind of happened, whatever, right? So then they're like jawing at it, and then Triple H comes out and he's like, "You know what? The two of you are right," or whatever, right? This is these are all these people for the WWE Championship. Sorry to clarify, all these people are around the 2015 era. They're just all happening the same night though. So Triple H comes out and he says, "You know what? You two are right," or whatever, right? The title is open. Someone should take it. You both have actually put in the work. And when you think about everything that's going on, I would love to see the two of you go at it and, see who the winner was if you guys battle for it. And then he says, unfortunately, whether Dean beats you, Roman, or whether you, Roman, would put down Dean, it doesn't matter because neither of you will be champion. Because even though the both of you are going to go at for the title, you won't be the only one because that title belongs to the game. That's right. This is going to be a triple threat match. Later that night at the contract signing for the triple threat match was the WWE Championship at Survivor Series. Triple H, Dean, and Roman are all like kind of talking to each other, whatever. Triple H basically instigates so that Roman and Dean kind of go at each other, and he just like kind of takes a back seat because he's a slimy guy or whatever. So Triple H capitalizes on Roman spearing Dean, and then he pedigrees Roman or whatever, and then he pedigrees Dean, and then he picks up the contract. They've both signed it at this point. Then he smiles, signs it, looks right into the camera. Right as he's smiling and looking at the camera and dropping the pin, all you hear is dun, dun, dun. That's right. Cena is out here. And then Cena cuts a promo saying everybody in the ring deserves a shot at the title, but there's only two people in this conversation who are poised to make history, and only one of them are going to do it because at this point, Cena and Triple H are kind of being like, well, who's going to have more championships, me or you? So Dean and Roman are back by this point, and the four of them are just all going crazy. And you're just like, oh my God, this is going to be, this is towards the end of the show. And you're just like, wow, this is what the fatal four-way is going to be for Survivor Series, for the WWE Championship. And then you just hear, that's right. Brock Lesnar comes out. He F5s the fuck out of everybody. After he F5s Cena, he does that thing where he goes like, and he just like celebrates or whatever. And like he does a loud yell or whatever. And he's like, kind of pacing around the ring. He turns around or whatever. RKO out of nowhere. That's right. It's Randall Orton. And then so Survivor Series is a special edition elimination chamber to determine the WWE champion, because in 2015, go look up the elimination chamber. I want you to go look up that pay-per-view and tell me if you want to watch it again. So we're going to do it right. So for Survivor Series 2015, WWE Championship is being decided between Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, John Cena, Triple H, and Dean Ambrose. They start the elimination chamber is Brock and Dean. Brock F5s him 3 times. Dean is eliminated immediately, because why the fuck would he win it out of all these 6 people? Are you kidding me? Get this nigga out of there. Go be a Wild Thing, nigga. And then, at some point, everybody jumps Brock and he gets eliminated. Then Randy eliminates Roman because this is pre-Tribal Chief Roman. So, nigga, you getting the fuck out of here. Then Roman and Triple H, because they got their little thing from the past or whatever, they kind of gang up on Cena or whatever because they both hate this nigga more than they hate each other or whatever. But then Randy actually snakes Triple H in a student overcomes the master kind of thing. And then Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship. Boom.
Nuts, but fire. You
know what
not lying.
You know what that really reminds me of though? Like that was really fire, but it's like this how you know Triple H must really be hurt. Because if he could wrestle, he would be in this Royal Heavyweight.
This is what I'm saying. Like I was like,
this
wait,
how you know he really hurt, bro. Because he would have booked himself into this match in real life too, bro.
Dude, I had to go. I was like, all right, I'm booking the WWE Championship, and the first thing I decided was like, all right, it's not going to be right now. So after that, I was like, well, if it's not right now, Triple H was wrestling, so he's going to be in it.
Triple H will be in it. He would be in it. So yeah, I was like, that's what you think about. I was like, damn, he must be really hurt, bro. And now you really hate that for him. But yeah, he got to actually be down because he would 100% have booked it with Big Gold back. He would have just given it to himself. Like he wouldn't even have like had a tournament. He would just been like, "Oh, Seth, you can face me at Night of Champions for it if you want."
Yeah. My rewrites. I'm going to start with the Women's Championship. So the WWE brings back the Evolution pay-per-view, which is the all-women's pay-per-view. Bianca Belair will be defending her championship against generations of Black women's champions. So you got Bianca Belair versus Alicia Fox versus Jacqueline in a triple threat match. Jacqueline and Alicia Fox, you know, the whole time lead up to the match, it's like respectful, kind of like Braun and Mello, like, I respect you. You've done a lot. Bianca, you're carrying the torch. Alicia and Jacqueline completely changed their tunes during the match, and they become hating ass old heads. So Bianca's really fighting a 1-on-2 handicap match. Alicia hits her finisher, Jacqueline hits her finisher, and then they get into a tussle trying to figure out who's going to pin Bianca and take the title. Bianca capitalizes on that, whips both of them with her braid, hits a double KOD on them, does her Roman Reigns impression, stacks them, pins them both. Bianca maintains her spot as the greatest Black women's champion, but also one of the greatest women's champions ever by defeating the old heads. Cruiserweight Championship. Similar to the women's championship match, a lot of different generations of champions. So you got, you know, your mat technician like Drew Gulak. You got your slimy kind of, you know, devious, talented heel in Neville. You got another technician in Roderick Strong. And then you can't have a Cruiserweight Championship match without three of the greatest Latinos to ever hold the Cruiserweight Championship. Santos Escobar, Rey Mysterio, and Eddie fucking Guerrero, baby. Six-pack elimination challenge. Now, you get to the match. All five people are out. They let Rey Mysterio enter last because he's obviously the greatest Cruiserweight champion ever. But Rey's music is playing, but Rey doesn't come out. And then obviously, you know, when that happens, the cameras pan to the locker room. Rey is knocked out on the floor. They're wondering who did it. And one of Drew Gulak's boots is like next to Rey. So they're like, Drew, did you do it? So as the match starts, Eddie Guerrero and Santos Escobar turn their attention on Drew, beat him up. They immediately get him out. And then they turn their attention to Roderick Strong, beat him up, get him out. So it's Eddie Guerrero, Santos Escobar, and who did I just eliminate? Neville or Roderick Strong? Roderick Strong. So it's Eddie Guerrero, Santos Escobar, and Neville left. So they're fighting. Rey wakes up, runs out. But he doesn't want to get in the match. He just wants to call out the people who actually beat him up, which was Eddie Guerrero and Santos Escobar. Eddie Guerrero and Santos made a little pact to, you know, join together, get Rey out, because Rey was probably gonna do some, you know, David versus Goliath shit and like overcome the odds and win. So Rey calls him out, and then you know, obviously Santos is like, shit, like I'm caught, and like, you know, so yeah, from there, Santos, Eddie, and Neville are in the ring. And Santos is like trying to apologize to Rey, like, hey man, you know, I'm sorry, like, you know, I gotta respect you, but I wanted the title. Santos's back is facing the ring. So what does Eddie do? Come up, low blow Santos, and then roll him up and eliminate Santos. So it's Eddie Guerrero versus Neville. And then Eddie Guerrero pulls some shit as always. There's a ref bump, so he grabs a chair, hits Neville, and then he drops down, tosses the chair on the ground, gets up, acts like he's recovering from some crazy shit. Frog splash. Eddie Guerrero wins off some dirty shit, but Rey calls him out for a match at the next pay-per-view. Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio feud over the Cruiserweight title. And finally, the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk has returned to the WWE. He defeats Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Comes out on Raw. He's talking his shit. He's like, hey, I was the best in this company. I was the best in that company. I came back, beat the best in your company. I'm the best no matter what we went through, no matter what the locker room went through. I'm that guy. I'm the best in the world. I've always been the best in the world. No one can touch me on this mic, in this ring, in the commentary booth. No one could touch me. Like, you're gonna need a powerhouse to stop me. Goldberg music hits. Goldberg comes out. Goldberg's been looking for his retirement match. He's like, I've got one run left in me, and kid, you've been talking a lot. I thought about facing you in that other company you were in. Things didn't work out for you. You're here. I'm here. Put that title on the line. Let's do it. Goldberg versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. So it's a great match. You know, typical Goldberg, like 8 to 10 minute classic, because he not gonna wrestle longer than that. Ref bump. CM Punk pulls out some brass knuckles, punches Goldberg. Goldberg's leaking down his bald head. CM Punk hits the GTS, defeats Goldberg, and at this point, he is a tyrannical World Heavyweight Champion who's like, "Yo, none of you niggas can beat me. This is my company forever." And yeah, those are my my title matches.
I did not see that coming. That was good. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, man. You know, I because it would have been so easy to go like Triple H versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship, or like John Cena versus someone. And granted, you both of you did really great matches with those. But I was like, I feel like Goldberg would not like CM Punk.
Oh no.
So let's put them in a match.
Yeah.
I think
go ahead.
The only issue with that is that I do not see CM Punk selling anything Goldberg throws at him. Like, I don't think CM Punk's about to eat a spear at all. Like, I just don't see that happening, bro. I just feel like to make Goldberg look good, you really got to sell it like Brock did or like Dolph did.
No, but here's the thing though. Goldberg really don't like CM Punk. This is like, you know, a retirement match or whatever. CM Punk gonna have to sell shit. Goldberg really gonna spear that nigga, bro.
Like, they might start fighting. That's
it's gonna be a shoot.
Start shooting. They just start fighting.
Which is exactly what I would want to play into, like just especially with all the heat CM Punk would come into the company with the AEW stuff and Goldberg's popularity, but like Goldberg's very polarizing still. Like, people don't fuck with him. People want him gone. Other people like him. So you make his retirement match and you think, oh, he's about to wash CM Punk and then he's gonna stay, and then CM Punk cheats him out of the match. So yeah, thought that was a stroke of genius for me. But ladies and gentlemen, these are our rewrites. That is our episode for the week. Thank you all for tapping in. As always, you can get the Before We Write trivia segment if you're subscribed to Patreon. If not, then you could just listen on public, but you should subscribe to that Patreon so you can get bonus content from the A Show, from the War Report, Retro Diaries, all that good stuff. So for myself, for CC, for Chan, the Men with the Pen, we will see y'all soon. Enjoy the episode, and yeah, we'll be back.